Today I'll be showing you how to make this layered cardstock rocking horse ornament. And these are all the colors of cardstock we're going to be using to make it. We're using a white cardstock that's from the natural pack, as well as the Kraft paper from that same pack. We'll also be using a brown cardstock and a red cardstock. In addition to your cardstock colors, we will also be using these foam risers and then some gold thread for hanging. And then you'll just need scissors, or you can use a cutting machine to cut it out, which is what I did. And then you'll also need some white Kraft glue. Let's get started. To begin, you'll need to cut out all of your pieces, and you should have 2 bodies, 2 of each leg, 2 manes, and then you only need 1 tail. And make sure you look at that template to see which is the rear legs and which is the front leg, because they do look similar. And then we have our pieces for the saddle. So you have like the white saddle and then these red accent pieces. So we're going to begin by gluing the saddle pieces together. And so they should mirror each other because they're going to go on opposite sides of the horse body. So just make sure when you're gluing these together, they're mirrored and not facing the same direction. So we're just going to use our white Kraft glue. Go ahead and apply that Kraft glue all over the back side of the red accent piece. Line it up on your saddle. And then we're going to do the same thing with the second one. All right, we're going to set these aside. And next we're going to glue the manes on to the body. So there's a little slit at the top of the mane here, and you're going to have the bulk of the mane in front, and then place the slit over the body of the horse right behind the ear so that you have the little bangs are coming out behind the ear. So I'm going to remove that and just apply some glue to the lower half of the mane, not along the top ridge. Go ahead and place that on my horse. Then I'm going to flip this piece over. So we're looking at the back side, and I'm going to take my tail, apply a little bit of glue on the base of that tail, and just attaching it to the back side of this body. All right. And now we're going to take the second body piece. I'm going to flip this back over so you can see the placement of that mane. But when you're applying the mane on the second body piece, you want them to mirror each other. So you can just place that mane on. And so you want them to mirror each other, but because we're going to be gluing these pieces together just like this, so we want it to be double-sided. So just like the first mane, I'm applying some glue on the lower half, attaching it to my horse. And now I want the placement of the both manes to be the same when I go to glue these 2 horse bodies together. So I like to just kind of position the horse bodies together as if I'm going to glue them. And then I can kind of move the manes so that they are even. You can move those around until you get them so that that top edge of the mane is going to be even when the bodies are placed together. Just like that. All right, next we're going to add our saddles. So the higher end of the saddle here is the back of the saddle. So I'm going to apply glue, add the saddle on here. It should just follow the line of the back. I'm going to go ahead and flip this horse over, and we're going to add the saddle as well. And the same thing as we did with the mane, you just want to make sure that these 2 saddle pieces are lined up. So just make sure when you put these bodies together, it looks like those line up pretty good. All right, so now we're going to glue these body pieces together, but first we need a bit of this gold thread, and we're going to be using this for hanging. So go ahead and cut a length that will make a loop as big as you want it to be able to hang on your tree or just to hang up to display somewhere. So I'm just going to tie these ends together. And then just trim any excess off that I don't want. And I'm gonna add a little bit of glue right just below the end of the mane here and right about at the front of the saddle. That's where I'm going to attach my string. And now we're going to glue the other side of the horse right on top of this. So you can add some glue over your thread and then all over the body of the horse. Then just line up these two bodies the best you can, just like that. Now your string is nice and secured in there. Make sure you really press over the area that you have that string hanging so that it doesn't just slip out. All right, next we're going to take our legs. So to find the positioning of our legs, we're actually going to take one of our red rocker pieces. And I'm going to take one front leg and one rear leg. We're just going to kind of set it up how we want it to look so that we can figure out the angle that these legs need to kind of splay out to fit on the rocker. You want the horse body to be just about centered over the middle of that rocker. I think that looks pretty good. So then you can take your risers and we're going to place one on each leg. Place it on the leg and then you can remove the backer piece. Just attach it to the body of your horse. Same thing with the front leg. I'm really making sure that I am lining up where I want the hooves to hit on the rocker before I'm placing that. All right, now I'm gonna flip the horse over and add the legs to the opposite side. And this part is easy because you just need to line them up with those legs on the opposite side. So I just like to line up the hooves, up the leg. You can just press it into place. And then same with this back leg. Okay, now that we have our legs attached, we can add the rockers. So to begin, I'm going to add a very small bit of glue just to the hoof on each. And you want to be really careful that you don't accidentally glue your feet together. Just line up that rocker where you want it to be and set it down right over the hooves. Then you can flip your horse over and just make sure that those hooves are right where you want them before the glue dries. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. You can kind of just very gently lift up that rocker to add your glue to these hooves. And then what I like to do is just line this rocker up with the first one, just right underneath. And then you can just set it down. And it's really important to have these rockers lined up because if you choose not to hang it, this will actually stand up on its own on the rockers if you just spread the feet apart. Now you've finished your rocking horse ornament, or you could also just display this standing up with your other Christmas decor.